Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Southwest Virginia fishing report with Matt Reilly. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great, Marvin. How are you?
As always, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble and took a quick look at your weather, and you're in a very seasonal pattern for Southwest Virginia. You're getting pretty chilly at nights and not too bad during the daytimes, but that's kind of what we expect this time of year.
Yeah, for now anyway. I mean, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Last midweek last week, we were supposed to get some snow. We were down in the 20s. Friday, it didn't get above freezing until almost noon. And today, it hit 75 degrees, and I got a little bit of sunburn on the river. And then Sunday, they're calling for, I think, a low of 26 and possibly some snow. So, we're kind of in that like transitional but seasonal kind of weather that's bouncing around. But, I'd say the warmer days are definitely numbered at this point.
Yeah, and so what I would imagine what that means is you haven't probably been cold enough long enough to really pattern the smallmouth into their wintering holes, or to say the same thing for the muskie, but I imagine your trout bite's probably pretty good.
Yeah. The muskie and smallmouth have definitely, they're still in transition, like they have been for better part, over a month now. But it's also getting colder, so things are just getting even tougher because they're kind of scattered and they're just moving slow. A couple weeks ago, we were in the upper 50s water temperature, and now we're like mid 40s. Things are slowing way down. And then on the muskie front, on the New River, it kind of just depends on where you are. We have on the lower river 60-degree water temp. The fish are still running around and happy, and on the upper river, we've got water temperatures in the mid 40s that are reacting a little bit more naturally to the dips and spikes in air temperature from day to day here. So it's kind of all over the place. But yeah, trout fishing has been pretty solid. I've been doing day to day a lot of mountain stream wade trips mixed in with some streamer float trips on the tailwaters down in Tennessee, and both have been pretty good. We were out on the tailwater today and had two guys that were pretty new to the game, but we got a 19-inch brown and a 17.5-inch brown, which I think were two of their biggest fish, which is always cool. And then on the mountain stream front, fish have definitely they've kind of shrunk down to the bottom of the water column. 2 weeks ago we were getting away with dry flies with long droppers, just fishing kind of mid column with nymphs that way. Still picking up the occasional fish on a dry fly. But at this point, most of our terrestrials have died off. There are still still been seeing some grasshoppers hopping around in some of the more meadow type areas on the river, but they're mostly gone at this point. And we've, had to slow down and drop down in the water column. We're fishing more, double nymph rigs and adding weight and depth before changing flies. So we're definitely, kind of into fall and winter up there.
Well, there you go. And I got a question for you. It's a muskie question. It's from Colby, and we can put a little bit of finer point on what we were talking about a little bit earlier. He wanted to know, where would you expect to find muskie this time of year?
Well, if to answer that question, you have to really go into the water temperature discussion and what fish are doing in different, temperature ranges and that kind of thing. Problem with that is that it's all over the board right now. It's bouncing up and down. It's at different places in different places in the river. So the short answer is that they are still in transition. They're not solidly in winter holes yet. And they are kind of anywhere and everywhere on that transition. But, just it's important to have, water temperature information when you're out on the river to know, kind of how fast to be fishing, what kind of stuff to be fishing, and where you should be looking. The warmer the water, the generally, the shallower the habitat, and the colder the water, generally the deeper and slower the habitat. The winter holes are really defined by their ability to protect fish from heavy current flow if the river stream flow spikes in the cold weather months. And so, it's just kind of understanding where the fish are going to be relative to what the water temperature is. So it really kind of depends on where you are.
Yeah, got it. And, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email them to us or send them to us on our Facebook or Instagram page. And if we use your question, I'll send you some articulate fly swag, and we enter a drawing for some cool stuff from Matt at the end of the season. And, Matt, like we always do, we want to know what you're writing this week for the Rural Virginian.
Yeah, so this one, this week isn't super, hook and bullet, but writing about wild persimmons and how to harvest them and eat them, ideally, probably a lot of people, if you grew up in the outdoors, have tried a persimmon that was not ripe and had your mouth turned inside out a little bit. And I definitely have. But we're kind of in the time frame now where they're kind of just getting to be ripe, and the animals haven't picked them all off yet. I've been watching a couple of trees all late summer, early fall, and starting to think about. I actually ate a couple last week that weren't too bad. So I'm going to go into detail a little bit about that, kind of how to go about it the best way.
Yeah, that makes me laugh. When I was a kid, we used to have a persimmon tree on the side of the house, and I got the pucker more than a few times.
It's almost it really draws you in. I mean, it's like just such a nice looking fruit when you see them. They just make you want to go pick one and try it. But it's often a bad idea.
Yeah.
But they can be pretty dang good. So we'll talk about that a little bit this week.
Well, there you go. And, before I let you hop, why don't you let folks know, I know we're in this transition, but I know you're probably stacking up guide days for muskie season. You want to let folks know where they can find you so they can book you and get on the boat with you?
Sure. Yeah, the website, MattReillyFlyFishing.com, and my phone number is on there, my email, and social media links and all that. Feel free to reach out however you feel best doing it. I look forward to hearing from you.
Well, there you go. And as I always say, folks, fall is my favorite time of the year to get out on the water, and you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Matt.
All right, tight lines, Marvin.